What's up, guys? So for today's tier list, we're going to be talking about if I had to cut the Smash roster in half, from like 80 something to 40 something, how would I do it? And this isn't like, oh, what characters I think are iconic and need to be in Smash. Sorry, people who love Kirby. This is like hey, these are the characters I like playing as, against, watching, just create an enjoyable playing experience. And would be in my ideal roster based on what we currently have. And you can see we got like the bring them back tier, the mix and match tier, I'll explain later, the maybe tier, I guess, the bring them back, but something about them needs to be revamped, and the I don't really want them back, and if they were brought back, you gotta revamp them, and then just the no tier, nah, let's just not bother with them. So right off the bat, let's get into it. Banjo, nah, I don't. He's not a fun character in any regard in Smash. Moving on. I think Bayo is awesome. I think her personality is great. I think her design is amazing. And I think her general concept of like this like slow but bursty character with crazy combos is really cool. I think she's just really good at playing super lame with how like ridiculous her recovery is. Like she can just platform camp with side B. So find a way to revamp her to make her a little bit less lame when she wants to be. And she'd be an awesome addition. Re-addition? I guess keep. An awesome keep for next Smash game. I think Bowser's awesome. I think he, like, does the Juggernaut design very well in Smash. Like, yeah, he's a bit of, like, an easy character, a bit of a noob slayer character. But at higher levels, I think he's really well balanced. Especially with, like, honestly, the way they did his armor, like, where it absorbs, like, jabs, works really well, as annoying as it can be. And his mix of being really strong when it hits you, but being really shit when you hit him, is perfect. Bowser Jr., nah. Like, you could maybe revamp him, I think, to, like, make him, like, make his projectiles a bit better. But I think it's also, like, he has Sonic Side B pretty much, except it's a kill move instead of, like, just the combo tool, and I'm like, I'm good on that. I really like Byleth. I actually think Byleth is like the heavyweight, slower, not heavyweight, but like the bigger, slower, more powerful swordy design done well. And I think the mix of like their up B is pretty cool. I like how they get in your face with like the nair sometimes. I just really like how they're done for being such a simple character. And that's in contrast to, where is he? Ike. Like, I feel like with Ike, I feel like Byleth does what Ike was supposed to do in a lot of ways, as being like a slower, harder hitting swordy. And honestly, you'd have to like really revamp Ike, like give him like a projectile on Ragnar, like change side B and neutral B somehow. And I don't know, he's cool and all, but playstyle wise, I don't really care for him back. He's kind of been sucky in every Smash game except when Nair was broken in Ultimate. And I just don't really see reason to have him anymore, as much as I like Path of Radiance or Radiant Dawn. Alright, it's Falcon. Need I say more? Chrom. I think between Chrom and Roy, I really like swordy characters that have, like, a reason to space their sword intentionally, right? Like, I don't like Chrom because you just kind of swing in a direction, and, like, it doesn't matter where you hit with the sword, it's all the same. And I really like, in comparison, of course, how Roy uses, his sweet spots, and you have to play around that. But also, as a result, you have sour spots, and you can utilize that for specific things as well. And I think it creates a more interesting character, while keeping the character very simple. Like, their moves themselves are just very basic. And then, of course, the same concept applies to Lucina and Marth, where it's like, Marth, you got the tippers you play around, and otherwise the character is very simple, but that adds a lot of depth to them, and that's really interesting. And Lucina's just like, okay, you kind of just swing your sword, whatever. Granted, you could make her like a skin. Same with Chrom, you can make Chrom a skin. You don't need echoes. Keep them as skins for the people who like those characters. Cloud. Cloud's weird. I think Cloud's really cool, and I think he's really fun to play. He's fun to watch, but he's also really degenerate in that, like, his character design has like everything a sword he's not supposed to be. He's really fast. He hits really hard. Has crazy damage output and kill power, and then he has limit, and like he feels like his like base design is how do we make a sword character broken. So I'd love to see a revamp to really highlight the more common swordy weaknesses, right? Like maybe not the best combo game, maybe like he has good range, but it's not insane. Maybe his frame data is much worse. Maybe it's a little bit slower. And also, I think limit camping is just like really powerful and not exploited enough and really dumb, especially with how strong limit makes his movement and his moves. So like, he's really cool, but I think something needs to give for his design in a future Smash game. Otherwise, he'll end up being really strong. And I always said this. I always said Cloud was really people really underrated Cloud when Ultimate came out, and like they buffed him a little bit. Spargo started going to more events, like, you know, showing up. And the character had all these really strong tools, like forward and back air were always this insane. Just no one was showcasing it at start of Ultimate. And of course, up smash dash tech buffs were really nice. Anyway, Corrin. Nah, I think she's just kind of boring. And like, I think the pin mechanic's cool. I think the idea of like these like longer, thin, like spear-like moves on a sword is interesting, but not enough for me to care about them. Alright, Daisy has a skin. Dark Pit has a skin. Diddy Kong. He's interesting. I think item characters are really cool because I think items are a really fun part of Smash. Diddy's really annoying to fight, but I kind of like watching him. Playing as him is pretty fun. And like, I don't see anything wrong with him. He's kind of one of those characters where it's like, I think he's a good type of character to have, like this hidden run setup item character that has to get in your face with his item. But I'm not dying to have him. So I put him here. In contrast, you got DK. Everyone loves going online as DK and just like spamming dash attack. It's always just a good time. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm spamming dash attack, grabbing someone that dying, charge punch. A+ character design. Make his recovery a little bit better in the next game, and I think he's actually a very good character with like clear strengths and weaknesses. So yeah. Doc, keep him as a skin, I guess. Duckin. I actually really like Duckin as a character. I think they could revamp him to make it a little more simple, because I think with all of his setups, the fact that all of his specials, except up B are like a setup, right? Like Gunman is a setup move with 5 different variations. Ken is this whole ass character, and then you have Psy B. And then I always find it a little bit weird that there's like an overlap of like, if you have the Psy B out, you can't set up the Can. And it's kind of annoying. So like a bit of a revamp to remove that overlap, make him a little bit simpler because there's so much going on with this kit. But I like this idea of like this setup zoner, which is, you know, similar to Snake, but I think Duckin kind of has this different niche because he has these disjoints. So yeah, Falco. Honestly, every Smash game, I feel like they change Falco. Like, you know, Melee Falco is very different from Brawl Falco, even like ignoring the difference in engine, which is very different than Smash 4 Falco, which is very different than Ultimate Falco. So I think the devs don't know what to do with him exactly. At this point, you can kind of dump Falco. It's like, yeah, whatever. I don't even know how I'll play in the next game anyway, so I don't think he's filling any specific niche besides like ladder combos. Alright, in the meantime, you bring Fox back. His design has not changed at all, I feel like, since the beginning of Smash. Like, ever since 64, you know, they've added some moves, tweaked some stuff balance-wise, but his base design has always been the same thing, and that's for a good reason. It is a very well-done design. Always strong, always has consistent weaknesses, though. And, like, really, they tend to overtune him, in my opinion. But that's about it. Otherwise, just, yeah. Alright, Ganondorf. Bro, he's so cool. He's so fun to play. But, like, give him... I don't even mind his normals being like Falcon. I don't mind him being, like, a slow, heavyweight character. But I wish his specials felt special. Like, alright, the Command Grab side B's cool. But, like, Neutral B can be something else. Down B can be something else. Up B can be something else. He can have some sort of mechanic. Like, come on, you got so many things to work with. I think making his smash attack sword moves works well. So I like how they already did that as like a revamp ultimate. But they can play into the fact that he's supposed to be this like powerful Warlock theme war. Ugh. But yeah, please bring it back. Greninja. I want this character back. I really like Greninja. I really like how they took like the Fox archetype and added some disjoints to it. And like some more interesting stuff with like the Shadow Sneak, the counter. The shuriken being like a camping move or an approaching tool if you charge it. And I like it. I think they just have to find a way to differentiate him a bit more from Fox. And I don't know how exactly, but I feel like they're super close to making this like Fox variation that is a bit more nuanced. It has a bit more like interesting stuff going on with like the ninja tools. So maybe play into the ninja aspect a bit more. And I think it'd be awesome. Because I think visually is cool. He's just fun to play as. I love Hero. Hero's so funny. And I actually think, like, besides crits, I think crits are stupid. The whack instant kill is also kind of stupid. But I think the menu mechanic is awesome. I think all of his spells being chargeable with, like, very different uses when you charge them is really cool. And I think how they layer that on top of, like, this slower sortie with kind of poor frame data but big hard-hitting buttons, it works well because you have to play his game, but it feels like there's enough counterplay to his game. And I think the menu is a lot more consistent than like people expect it to be, because Hero generally just wants to go for buffs, and the rest of his menu is kind of meant to like supplement like getting space for buffs, but also condition you to get to like have to make sure you respect the fact they might just flame slash. All right, Ices. I think a character as unique as Ices should come back. You know, you got the duo character, and really, like, I love watching Ice Climber players master their tech. This character is always very polarizing, but at the same time, without chain grabs, I don't think they're ever going to be, like, particularly broken as a character. And it's Smash. You always have polarizing things. I don't think they're, like, min level polarizing or anything. But yeah, I like watching them. I can't play them for shit. They're not my type of character, despite them being, like, a duo character. But I just think they're a cool addition to the game, playstyle-wise. Alright, speaking of cool, Incineroar. He's a little bit too cheesy for my taste, right? I hate dying in 1 to 2 hits. That's always some bullshit. But he's so cool. He hits you and he taunts because he's a wrestler. He's like a slow grappler heavyweight that actually is viable. Like, even his harder matchups like Sonic, like, can be done, actually. So, like, they found a way to make this kind of, like, generally atrocious archetype in not just Smash, but most fighting games even, work. Just a lot of cheese, and maybe don't make him this massive combo food character. Yeah. His recovery has a lot of versatility, which is a big deal. His mechanics and, like, special moves all complement his kit, and I just think he's really well done. He's also just fun to play as. Alright, next up, Inkling. It's like, yeah, I think I like Splatoon as a series, but I think Inkling's a boring character. Like, visually, the character's kind of boring. The moveset, like, for the character, they really have to revamp a lot of stuff. I think they make the character work. But also, I don't see this character being much different than, like, Fox or, like, Greninja, in that they're a hit-and-run character. And I don't know. I don't really think... I don't personally lose anything if you remove Inkling from this game. Or the next Smash game. Alright. Isabelle. I freaking love Isabelle. I think she is, like, Villager 2.0 done really well. Where she... I think I mentioned this in, like, my video talking about, like, why I put her higher on the tier list than Villager. But basically, I think she is, like, that zoner character that's meant to get in and fight you done really well. I also think she's more iconic looking than Villager and just looks better as a character, where Villager just looks boring to me. So, 100% putting Isabelle again for the next Smash game. Don't have to revamp her that much, to be honest. I think just gotta make her a bit better. Don't make her a slow, ultra lightweight character. And yeah, speaking of Villager, nah. Like, not even gonna mix and match for their best strengths. Just don't bring Villager back. He's whatever, in my opinion. Alright, Joker. I don't really want him back, to be honest. I think he's really annoying. Because, like, I feel like optimal Joker has always been just run away, shoot gun, shoot side B, stall for Arsene. And, like, I think the fact that he's a hit-and-run character whose mechanics are, like, stall you until he gets broken mode for a few seconds, kills you, and then runs away the entire match again, if played optimally, it's very annoying. And, like, he has some cool-looking combos. Like, the tech chases Leo does with his character is cool. But really, I'm just like, He makes my Smash experience worse when he's on the screen. Whether I'm watching him, playing against him, even playing as him, I'm always like, Cool, I got some combos. All right, back to camping for Arsene and chipping people out forever and just nah. It feels like intentionally uninteractive and you get rewarded too much for non-interactivity. I know, says the guy that plays defensive. Non-interactivity can be annoying. So like, I don't care about Puff as a character. I don't think she's well designed or anything. But you gotta keep Puff in the game for my boy H-Box. Like that's it, yeah. Like legit, I don't care about Puff. I think like the super fast, low range aerial type character archetype has been done better with Yoshi. So I don't feel like Puff accomplishes much that like Yoshi or even Wario doesn't accomplish. But she's so polarizing, and she's one of those characters like even if she's bad, she's really annoying, and like creates these super obnoxious matchups where either you destroy her because you keep her out, or she hits you once and you get edge guarded, or like you can't zone her out because you don't have good air control. And I don't know. I think visually like she's whatever. I think fighting her, it's either super easy or it's super like obnoxious. And yeah, I'm not a big, and even like as a character, like let's be real here. Is Jigglypuff that relevant of a Pokemon nowadays outside Smash? I could be wrong, but I don't think so. So yeah, she's gone. All right, Kazuya. I kind of like Kazuya. I wouldn't mind him being back, but he's not a priority. It's like cool. Obviously if they bring it back, revamp him, make Electrics not super broken, give him a reason to use a lot more of his moveset, because I think the idea of this massive moveset is cool. I think like he's a cool character to look at. I think the idea of like the command grab at 100 plus as his comeback mechanic, the fact that's limited in usage, I actually like that. So I think he's a cool character. I just don't think he's like as cool as some of the other FGC characters potentially, and I wouldn't like prioritize bringing it back if we cut the roster in half. Also, I wouldn't bring back Ken in the same vein. Like, I don't know, Ken doesn't really offer that much in comparison to other characters who I think do this like fast, close range FGC archetype better. Like Ella's just talking about him right now. Where is he? I think Terry is amazing. I think he does like the Ken archetype so much better of just getting in your face and comboing you, but needing to work to get in your face. Like, granted, Go is a little bit dumb, but it kind of works because Terry's recovery isn't the greatest. He's not particularly heavy, so like you can kill him before as he gets Go. And he still has to work to get in. The Go move's still punishable. And he's just really fun to watch. Even moving him, just, bro, you're just dash back and forth with the character. Just boom, 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 boom. It's really fucking fun to play. It's really fun to watch. Fighting against it is actually really cool until you die at 40 because cheese, but that's ultimate. Oh well. And yeah, I would 100% bring Terry back for next Smash game. He has so much style. And then since one FGC characters, where is Ryu? I like Ryu's design too. Like, in contrast to Terry being the get-in-your-face zoner, Ryu does a good job. Get-in-your-face FGC character. Ryu does a good job of being like the more slow, spacing-oriented, control space FGC representative. That like still has to get in your face to do a lot of damage, but isn't like forced to do it quickly. I also think Focus is actually a cool mechanic that's done pretty well for the most part. And yeah, I like fighting Ryu. I like watching him. I think he's just a good character in general. He's much better than his Smash 4 design where he was just like walk up tilt and to kill you at 60 the character. Now that was not a good design character, let me tell you. But we're out of that era. Alright, this is going to be a hot take. I don't want DDD back. I'm saying it right now. I think in every Smash game, his design has been lame. In Brawl, he was chain grabs the character. In Smash 4, he was bad. I can't even tell you much about the character. In Ultimate, he's bad, and then at the Legend, he just hits you with Gordo ledge traps all day, and it's like, this is really unfun. And like, I don't know how you make him good without making him polarizing. I don't think he's that interesting to watch. I feel like he's supposed to be like a zoner heavyweight character, but he's never really accomplished that well. So yeah, like a zoner grappler heavyweight. Speaking of like heavyweight zoners, K-Rool. I actually kind of like K-Rool, but I don't like him enough to like want him back when we cut the roster in half. Like, I think the idea of like this zoner heavyweight that uses his armor to challenge people, like pressuring him, getting in his face, is really interesting. And you could just revamp him a little bit to make him less of like a noob stomper. I don't know exactly how, I'm not a dev. But yeah, with that said, he's still really annoying. He's zoner heavyweight with armor moves that are really big. Like, you could bring it back, sure, but I'm not dying for him back. Alright, next we got Kirby. People are gonna go, what? That was Kirby? No way. Bring it back. And the thing is, you can bring him back, but honestly, the way he has to be revamped, I think. Like, replace pretty much every special he has except Neutral B. Even, like, make him a different character. Like, don't make him this close range, like, combo-heavy monster character. I don't feel like that's unique. Like, I don't know. You can bring him back, but I feel like the way he should be revamped to be a good character that's also more interesting, you might as well just make a new character at that point. So, he's, like, whatever to me. Link. I think Link's really cool. I like how Link is designed in Ultimate. I think he's just a little bit undertuned. I'd like to see maybe like them doing something different with his neutral B. Whether they like completely change it or like buff the arrows or something. But like otherwise, he's a little bit weak in every Smash game. And I think that's just because he's a really good like noob stomper. Like he has these hard hitting moves with good range and a lot of projectiles, and that's like the perfect recipe for, hey, people aren't that great at the game, we're gonna hate fighting him. And he's popular, so he's everyone on Elite Smash, even if he's bad, right? So maybe revamp him so they can make him a bit better while keeping him the same character and not being this like really good low level stomper. So yeah. Alright, Mac. No. KO punch. Armored smash moves, fast on the ground. No, I'm good on that one. We can just move on. Lucario. No, he was kind of interesting in Brawl when there was no rage, so his aura mechanic was unique. Now he just feels like he's not unique. Like his uniqueness is he plays on an already obnoxious, sometimes obnoxious system with rage, but to like an awful extent. The only thing I like about Lucario is I think when he's doing Aura Sphere like B reverses to move back and forth, I think it's really cool. And like it hits you with like a back air or like the command grab. That looks cool. But really, he's just so stressful to fight against. And I'm like, like I feel like he's a heavyweight and that like he's not the greatest neutral, poor disadvantage state, but it hits you and you just die. Done really poorly, but not a heavyweight. Alright, next we got Lucas. And he's interesting. He's actually the first of my mix and match pairs, where I actually think it'd be cool. I'd bring back Ness personally, based on like the normals, but I would love to see some of Lucas's things on Ness. Like I think Ness with like some sort of Zero would be interesting. I think Ness with like the Lucas neutral air to drag people down would be really like good, but also really interesting. I think Ness with like Lucas's down B, cool. I think Ness with Lucas's up B, a little bit less explosive, but more consistent recovery. So I'd love to see parts of Lucas put into Ness's kit, and I think Ness otherwise is like bring it back for sure. Ness is a well-designed like mix of let's like close range like floaty character with some zoning tools to like make sure that like if someone's like zoning him out, he can whiff punish them, and he can force other characters to fight him. I'm not a big fan of Magnet healing him. I feel like it's a bit of a overly strong move against energy-based projectiles, but that's whatever. Otherwise, he's like the closer range brawler combo-esque archetype done pretty well. Speaking of that, we're getting a lot of those now because we got Luigi. I actually like Luigi's design. Hot take, maybe it's because I am a Rosa player, a zoner player in general. I don't mind fighting Luigi. The only thing I'll do is I feel like replaces side B. Like, replaces side B. It honestly changes neutral B. Like, those moves, like, neutral B works with this kit, but he has Zeri. He doesn't really need it. Side B feels like a dumb move to have. And obviously, make him a little bit less of, like, a kill you off any hit character to compensate for some of these changes. But I think having, like, this grappler-based character that isn't a heavyweight, isn't a big body, and has a tether grab is a unique character that I actually enjoy watching, and It's totally fine for a character to be explosive and cheesy, and Luigi is exactly that. Just maybe a little more variety in his kit. And then Mario, another close range brawler character done perfectly well. Like, the only thing I changed about him, I don't know why he has Flood. Maybe give him Dock Down B, I don't know. Give him some mechanic from his new games. Like, otherwise though, he's great. I think the way his Fireball is arcs like a Pikachu Teasel and bounces, I think that's really cool. I think Cape being this versatile, like, air stall, like, edge guarding, projectile punishing move is great. Like, I think even the up B is a super basic, just sure you can pretty much, works well for him. Like, him just being this close range character that has to work to get in and combo you. Cool, yeah, it's done well. I like watching him move around. I like watching his low spacing. I like watching when he sets up things like spikes and ladders people. Yeah. Fighting him is pretty fun because it's a nice challenge. And playing as him is also fun because ladders are satisfying. Mega Man is interesting. Like, I think they could revamp him completely. Like, I was thinking you could give him, like, the Smash 4 Palutena treatment where, like, you give him, like, a specific set of custom moves unlocked by default, and you make him a custom character. Where, like, you pick one of, like maybe, like, 4 of, like, 20 different specials from his games. Right? And then maybe make it so, like, he's not playing Mega Man, but, like, he's more of a Smash character. Like, you don't make, like, his neutral attack, like, the lemons. But with those changes, like, making him not as projectile focused, making him more customizable, he's basically a new character completely. So as much as I like Mega Man, I low-key prefer a Mega Man X anyway, but also the amount I would change him to bring him back, to make him not annoying to fight. Also, I hate how, like, lemons cause you buffer inputs weirdly in Ultimate, but, like, the amount of changes I'll make, honestly, don't bring it back at this point. Just put in a new character at this point if you're gonna change him to be more like a normal Smash character instead of this, like, weird, like, we put Mega Man into Smashy Bros type thing. Alright, I think Meta Knight's awesome. I actually really like how they made Meta Knight. Sure, he's like a hit and run character like Fox, but he's much more focused on the combos and the edge guards. And I think the fact that he's very edge guard happy, in compensation for his neutral not being that great, I think the multi jumps and, like, the small dish with his sword is interesting in comparison to a character like Fox. I think visually just really cool. I love watching him teleport, or, like, when he hits, like, a shuttle loop. Bro, that, like, 1-2, like, bah, bah, is super satisfying to watch. His edge guard satisfying to watch. But then, it's balanced out how slow he is in the air despite his double jumps. Like, he's small, but he's easy to combo. Like, he actually has good balances to his strengths. And I think there's a really good balance to get find of, like, maybe some better spacing a la Brawl, while, like, keeping, like, the ladder stuff and edge guarding stuff he has nowadays. Alright. Mewtwo. I think Mewtwo's so cool. But they don't utilize how cool he can be. Ugh! Like, why are half his moves just tail swings? Like, what's the point of his down B as, like, I guess has some point, but, like, they can play into, like, psychic stuff and be so much more visually explosive. Because I think this, like, really, like, big glass cannon character, great to have in Smash. I think overall it's done well. I think the fact that, like, I like how he's more of a, he's a zoner glass cannon, which, you know, I like my zoners, but it's not too obnoxious or anything. So yeah, bring him back. Just more so visually on his moves, change it up. Like, he can play the same as he's currently playing. He's mostly just too weak in Ultimate due to tuning. Just revamp him visually, please. Alright, for the Miis, nah. No. It's like they're all just copying other characters too much. Like, you know, Mii Brawler is just like Fox with, like, a grab game for the most part. Gunner is just Samus, but discounted. And then Swordy is just another zoner, not even a Swordy character. And it's like, I was initially thinking you bring them back so you can have, like, them as, like, costume fodder, but also just give us real costumes in the next Smash game, please, Nintendo, please. Min Min, I'm gonna be biased, alright? Holy crap, I love playing Min Min. She's so fun to play as. No, don't. As much as I like playing as her, don't bring her back. She is probably the second worst designed character in the Smash series as a whole. Oh my god, like, I don't even gotta say more. Anyone watching this video already knows exactly why I'm saying that, so we're moving on. Alright, Game Watch. I don't want Game Watch back. I don't even mind fighting him that much. I just think when I look at how this character has been in every Smash game, I feel like he's always this really polarizing character. Like, he's a glass cannon, he's meant to be. I don't think he was good at melee. In Brawl, he was like down throw simulator, and then he was just kind of like up you out of bad spots, and it was really annoying. Like, he was really annoying in Brawl, very polarizing. Not that great because meta existed, but whatever. In Smash 4, he was bad, but he had down throw up air. And then Ultimate, like, he is just advantage state simulator. And I always feel like in every Smash game, like, what he's good at is really obnoxiously polarizing to compensate for how light he is. And it's like there's nothing objectively wrong about it in my eyes. I just don't like it. I just don't like watching it. I don't like playing against it. I don't like playing as it. Just never fun to me. Alright, speaking of not fun to me, Pac-Man, I hate it. Pac-Man is like pre-DLC and Steve in that like he puts Hydrant down and it functions like a block, where it just doesn't let you play the game. And like, ugh! Like, I hate it how Hydrant just controls so much space and just stalls the game out. And it works in tandem with him wanting to charge his fruit into like bells and keys. And it's just so annoying to fight. Like, I don't mind zoners. I don't. But I do dislike when characters stop me from playing the platform fighter. Like, just constantly push me around. And it feels like he just slows the game down and pushes me around a lot. So I'm good on that. Alright. Hot take. I like how Palutena is in Ultimate. I think she's well designed. Overtuned, sure. But I think the idea of giving a character like invincible spacing moves, a little bit strong, but cool. He's fun to move with. Teleport cancels are cool. I like how her projectiles are a mix of like camping, but also like controlling people to like get more pressure going and stop people moving around. And like she's this super mobile, like spacing, hit and run like character that actually has to fight you to get good damage going. And she's also a good, simple character. Peach is like peak Smash design. Float is one of the sickest design things in Smash. And in tandem with items, and I love item play. In tandem with items, the way she's designed to be this super mobile aerial character that has to get in. Like, I love when they give characters low range but decent mobility to get in and like reward them for that. It's great. On like a more individual move level, I think like the way like a lot of moves are balanced is great. Like, she has been a good character in pretty much every Smash game she's been released while not being broken, and that's a testament to her design. Alright, next up, the Rats. Now, this is actually a mix and match, because I think Pikachu has consistently been a very lame character in Smash, and I would love if basically Pichu evolved into Pikachu. I would love if current Pikachu was faster in the air, but in exchange had Pichu's weakness of self-damage. Like, I would love if Pikachu couldn't just run away and camp T-Jolt and up B for a random whiff punish. So, maybe like mix and match Pikachu and Pichu. Maybe give Pikachu a slightly stronger combo game. But in exchange, make it so his up B isn't a hitbox. Maybe he takes self-damage, but he's fast in the air. I actually prefer Pichu's design much more than Pikachu's. Obviously, he's too polarizing of a glass cannon design to like be good unless he's super broken like early Ultimate before they nerfed him. But there is definitely a really good balance they could strike by mixing some of the strengths and weaknesses. So you don't have this super like lame character like Pikachu, but you don't have this like almost touch of deathy like glass cannon character the way Pichu is. Alright, Olimar. Pure bias here. I think he's awesome. I think this mix of grappler, zoner, sortie hybrid works really well. And of course he's compensated for by the fact that like when you fight against him, I mean, his weaknesses are he's super fragile. You know what he wants to go for it because as strong as each Pikmin like color is, it also gives away what he wants to do, and each of them has a specific weakness. And yeah, he was a little bit too strong in Brawl. He would have been in 4 if he had like normal aerials instead of like item priority aerials for some reason. And then Ultimate, obviously after the nerfs to up smash, he's too balanced to compete with the game. It's a meta, but anyways, like I think he's a good character design. He's a little bit frustrating to fight. When you hit him, you got a lot of reward. He's fun to play as, very unique. And yeah, maybe make him a little bit less easy to camp out because you can kind of just time him out while running away. But that's more of a Ultimate / platform fighter problem in my opinion. Alright, moving on to Plant. I always forget this character's in the game, and then like I see him on these lists, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta talk about Plant. He's just so forgettable, and I still don't get what they're going for with his playstyle. Like, I get Patu is supposed to be big. He was supposed to be like really good at like anti-airing people with like that up tilt, up air, But nah, it didn't work out. Alright. I think Pit's one of those characters that's just like objectively like fun. Like no one's ever played Pit and said they don't have a fun time. He is such a well-rounded character, and I wish he was a better character. Because I feel like he's a really good character to be like a strong character in Smash. Because he's well-rounded. Like he has a bit of everything. But he plays more into like that spacing zoner type character if you want a well-rounded character that isn't like getting in your face like Mario. Or a spacey like Wolf. So I think he's fun to play. He's fun to watch. Well-rounded. Angling arrows especially satisfying. I'd probably give him like Dark Pit side B, but otherwise just gotta make him tuned better. Because he also has combos. He's just a little bit low damage for what he does. Alright, PT's peak design. Like, they did such a good job. Every single Pokemon on PT has the same weakness of poor disadvantage state. A little bit slow in the air while being floaty. Actually, just slow in general while being floaty, right? And they're all simple characters. Squirtle's pretty simple to play. But it's fine. Like, he's a well-designed character. Ivysaur, simple to play zoner. Cool. Charizard, simple to play heavyweight. But the complexity is, of course, they have all three. They have to know when to swap characters. I think that's really interesting. I like watching the character as a result. I like fighting against the character because of that mini game of like, when are they gonna swap? How should I play around the different Pokemon they swap to? And even playing as a character isn't my cup of tea, but like I can appreciate it. All right, Aegis, no. Like, I hate how simple this. It's like interesting because talk about PT being a good like multiple character, basically stance character design, and then we have Aegis, who's similar in that. The difficulties for the character, like complications, are when do you play each character. But I think Pyra and Mythra are both like, I can't speak right now. I think Pyra and Mythra are both like really just lame character designs in comparison, right? Because there's swordies who don't really need to space their sword that well, right? Like Mythra plays more like Sheik, Greninja, Fox than an actual swordie, which is fine. But then you attach a sword to it, and it's like, it's kind of stupid if it's really obnoxious in neutral, like way too overpowered. And then you have to balance Mythra, of course, with like an atrocious recovery. And I don't like when the balance for a character is like, yeah, they're really, really good, but you hit them off stage and they might just die. It's a way to make that kind of design work well. And the way I'd want to revamp Mythra would just be a new character at that point. And the Pyra, it's kind of the same thing where it's like you don't got space too much. Like obviously you got space, but better than Mythra, generally, because you have like worse frame data and you're slower. But like they're just such a simple character, right? And you throw them off stage and they might just die. And I feel like the fact that they're so simple with like very polarizing weaknesses, and they're not really visually cool to watch. The fact that like both of them have a special move you basically never see used, a testament to just. I don't know. They missed the mark completely on this, in my opinion. So you can remove them. All right, Belmonts. I want to see Belmonts back. I think having a whip character is cool. I just want to bring them back as less of this like polarizing zoner where you down beat the ledge and like, cool, you win the game. But like, I would love to see if they like some sort of hit grab with the whip, like some more arcing hitboxes with the whip. Maybe like you spin the whip around like during their jab, but it's actually useful. So like a little bit less of the zoning non-stop and a bit more of like spacing and making them feel like a whip character. Because some things are really cool. Like I think angling the forward air and back air is awesome. Maybe you can angle the up air and up smash as well. I think the tether grab on the aerials because it's a whip is sick. So there's so much they can do with that and like the moves they get from Castlevania. Because I think things like the down tilt and dash attack are really cool moves. I just think some sort of revamp to make them less of this like Min 1.0 would be awesome. Alright, Ridley. Dude, Ridley's so cool. Ridley's so cool. Oh my god. Oh, he's this berserker heavyweight. He's super fast, super big hitboxes, multiple jumps, a sick, crazy advantage state, right? Awesome. And he's light for heavyweight, but it works out because when he hits you, he destroys you. I just want mostly visual revamp on him. Like, I think gameplay-wise, he's fine. Like, could be balanced better. But, like, on a visual level, bro, like, his up smash looks so weird. Why is his down air so ugly? Just, like, stomping into the ground. Like, what's going on? Like, why is his down B the way it is? It's just not that good. Like, but, like, his side B is cool. Like, when he's just like forward smash, and that forward smash animation's sick. So they can keep his moveset for the most part, just bounce better and make him look more like this menace instead of these goofy animations for half of his kit. Like, bro, his back here is like this stanky like leg kick move. All right, Rob. Rob is actually awesome. Overtune 0 deaths is stupid, but like, you just don't let him have like 0 deaths in the next Smash game. And I think this character that like this like zoner brawler hybrid that struggles at like the sortie range is really interesting because he has to choose when he's gonna take some space and throw lasers and gyro, and when he's gonna camp with gyro versus setting it up to get up close and fight with his amazing normals. But like, you can always abuse the fact that he's big. Like, you know, it's a meme, but he's big. It's like, I think the mage archetype is cool, and I want like a good mage in Smash, but I don't think Robin's it. Like, I think the thing about him is, I think you have to remove the item durability mechanic to make him good, but at that point you have to change so much about him that I'd rather than just put in another Fire Emblem mage. Like, I don't know, I don't know Fire Emblem enough. I'm sure some iconic mages you could put in that would work a lot better than Robin. Maybe just take the self-insert from the next Smash game and make it pure mage. But yeah, so like, because I think you have to change so much about Robin to make this character good, but also not obnoxious. Because like, imagine if 11 Sword just didn't disappear at all. Oh my god. Or like Fire didn't disappear at all. You know what I mean? Like, you have to change so much to make this character not obnoxious to fight. While good, while well designed, yeah, just dump it. Just dump it. Throw it in the trash. Start over. Alright. Zelda. I think I made it and thought Zelda. Brain doesn't work. Anyway, Rosa. Pure bias, right? I think bring her back for sure. 100%. Having this puppet character, like, every good fighting game needs a puppet character. That's a fact. Puppet characters are based. And she is, Ultimate Incarnation is so well designed. We actually have so much reward for picking when to tether and detether, right? You get so much reward for playing the puppeteer style. But she still isn't so, like, different from Smash fundamentals that you're not still playing the basics of Smash with spacing, with knowing when to go in and keep people out, with knowing how to hold your advantage state, playing good disadvantage state. Like, she's a well-rounded, very fundamentals heavy character actually, who just has a whole extra layer of puppeteering on top of it. The only thing, I think actually, revamp her puppeteering control, because I think having to attack cancel for like a lot of the cool Luma stuff, it's a little bit like much to learn. Like, when I'm teaching people Rosa, it's always awkward where it's like the difference of someone who can like attack cancel consistently and activate all the crazy stuff versus can't is like night and day. And I think the inaccessibility is an issue from a design standpoint, or like, you know, doing like dash attack cancel up smash. Super cool. You have to be able to do a dash attack cancel into a wave land forward, and that's like 2-3 frame like input windows back to back that I need special controls for. Like, no, that's too much. Also, from a design standpoint, I think the fact that when you don't have Luma, your best bet is just circle camping with her full ops is kind of stupid. So, they could probably find a way to make like her play without Luma a bit more dynamic. But yeah, definitely bring it back. Alright, Samus. I want her back because I think she's like a very quintessential like zoner type character. But she needs to be less like polarizingly like built around charge shot on bomb ledge trapping. Because like, I think having a simple charge shot character is great. Like, I like Mewtwo's design for the most part. But when every matchup is like, how good / bad is this character at dealing with charge shot, it's like, eh. And like, there's so much room for something to be revamped, with her side B basically being garbage in every Smash game except Melee. I think it was useful for like landing cancels. I'm not entirely sure. No one plays Samus Melee nowadays, as far as I can tell. So yeah, bring her back, because I think if she's not just spamming charge shot, I think she could be really cool. But like, you could still keep her as this like very conditioning heavy zoner. And I just like the way she looks visually, and moving with her is fun. I like my floatier characters, so very biased there. Alright, next off. I would like to see Sephiroth return if they super revamp this guy. Like, I don't mean just like revamp, Like, I would like to make it so he just starts with one wing type revamp and he always has 3 jumps and is just fast. But in exchange, don't make him this like obnoxiously like massive range, cheesy shield breaking character. Like, you can make this character like a glass cannon sortie with lots of range very effectively. But he has to not be designed around living to like 80, hopefully, and then being God. Because he's also just visually, like, he has some cool animations. It's just the cool animations hide a really obnoxious to fight character. Because he's also very polarizing, where I feel like all the good characters kick his ass. But like, if you're not a good character, you probably can't get in versus his sword range. And then you just can't like kill him consistently and he just melts you. And yeah, I don't know. I don't like Sephiroth's design. But I think that's because he was tuned really poorly in a lot of ways. I think they messed up from the get-go by making him a comeback character, honestly. Don't really want him back, but if you do, like, I could see, he's kind of cool. Change up stuff. Alright, Sheik, awesome character. Fast, close range, combo heavy character. I think when they added Bouncing Fish in Smash 4, they, like, finished her design. Like, they figured out how to make her a complete character. And I would not change anything about her from a design standpoint. Bring her back. Alright. Shulk's interesting. He's like the one sortie character I kind of... Like the one non-tipper, sweet spot, emphasis sortie character I like. Because I think Monado arts are really cool. I don't love the character. But I'm like, I kind of like how like both players play around Monado arts. I kind of like how a lot of his sword moves, in compensation for them not really need to be spaced too well, have poor frame data. I kind of like how he actually is a relatively low damage character, just relies on like good spacing and like off stage control. And I think he's cool. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I would bring him back for a next Smash game. I would just maybe make jump art camping a little bit less obnoxious when he wants to like stall for other arts. That's it. Alright, Snake. I love how Snake's designed. I'm saying it. People might disagree with me here. But at the same time, the amount of Snake players out there loving their character says volumes. A pure item-based character where you can use pretty much all of his explosions against him. You can use his main mechanic against him. He even has cool movement with like B reverses. The way he sets up control on the stage, but there's enough counterplay because you see it coming. And like it requires time to set it up. Like it always feels like there's a level of counterplay to what Snake's doing, and then he has counterplay to that, and you have counterplay to this. And I love how deep the counterplay gets when fighting this character. So it's so fun to fight against, unless you die at 90 to up tilt cheese, which is nothing for ultimate standards. So yeah, bring him back. Don't change anything about him. He is a highly nuanced character that accomplishes the heavyweight space control zoning brawler like archetype mix perfectly. Alright, no Sonic. No, we're done. Yes, you could revamp Sonic. You could give him moves from other games. But I'm gonna keep it real with you. Even when he was bad in Brawl, he was obnoxious as fuck to fight. Oh my god. Games would go time with him in Brawl even when he was atrocious. And I don't know how you like put him in Smash as the fastest character and don't keep him from being the super polarizing character. And like if you do, you probably change him to the point where it's kind of like Mega Man, where it's just a completely new character. And at that point, why have him in over like a new character? Like why try to like fit Sonic into something that Sonic is? Because he is a spin dashing, running fast character in his games for the most part too, except when he's like a werewolf or wielding a sword. So yeah, I'm good with this character gone. I don't want him in Smash anymore. We have enough like hit and run characters. We don't need one with multiple spin moves that's entire mechanic is to run away from you. Alright, Sora. Complete bias here. People hate fighting Sora. I love playing as Sora. I think making a combo heavy sortie character whose thing is that he's not as good at spacing as other sorties, but instead wants to make you guess. He wants to hit your shield with like a nair and make you guess. Am I gonna do nair 1, 2, or 3? Am I gonna drift forward or backwards? Am I gonna try and follow up or not? Am I gonna maybe space with some fireballs and bait out the nair by jumping in and drifting back? Am I gonna mix up one side B2? Like, I think the fact he plays a lot of mind games and mix-ups, which is core to fighting games, right? Like, you have to guess what he plans to do in situations. And then I love the high execution ceiling with his combos. That's really fun. I like how there's actually a lot of ways to keep him in disadvantage, despite what people think, if you know how it works. So like there's a lot of like more in-depth counterplay to what he's doing. And as a result, he has a lot of counterplay to you, like covering his recoveries, ledge trapping him. So there's just a lot of stuff going on there. But I love how it's all wrapped up into this character that's otherwise pretty simple. Like, it's really hard to make a character that's really simple, but also in depth at the same time. And I think Sora does that really well. With that said, I do like my floaty zoning characters. So I know most people are going to look at this and go, Dabuz, no, stop, no Sora, please. How could you put Sora in the game but not want Mega Man back? Alright, moving on. No, Steve, no, I'm done with this. Like, yes, you could bring him back and not make blocks, like, really annoying. And, like, he could be a fun character if he was more around, like, built around, like, building shit on the stage and going for crazy setups. But I feel like even then, he'd be really obnoxious to fight. Because, like, oh, he just built a house with TNT in it. And, like, what do you do? Make him not camp for resources? It doesn't fix Steve at that point. So you could just remove him from the game. It's fine. I don't think anyone's going to miss it too much. Play Minecraft if you want to build some houses. Alright, Toon Link, Young Link. This is my third, like, mixed character. Because I think both characters have really cool aspects of the design. But I think they both have missed the mark from multiple games. And I think what I love to see is a mix of both characters. Like, maybe mix in, like, Young Link's, like, speed, combo game emphasis. But with Toon Link's slightly floatier nature and more versatile recovery. And mix in, like, some of Toon Link's, like, bomb play into, like, Young Link's kick. Because Young Link's bomb is, like, not nearly as interesting as Toon Link's bomb is. And I think there's a good mix of, like, Young Link's combo expression. But Toon Link's less punishing disadvantage state. Like, Young Link's, like, interesting arrow play with Toon Link's interesting bomb play. Into some really cool character. So, yeah. Like, maybe you make it more like a Young Link where you still have to get in and pressure and combo people. Maybe make it a bit more spacing, hit and run, zoning based like Toon Link, with some of Young Link's ability to get in and pressure and combo. I just know there's a really cool character if you mix both of them into one. I don't want Wario back. I don't like fighting him. I dislike, and I'll compare this to Yoshi. I dislike when characters are really mobile and get rewarded for running away, right? And Wario's waft, his entire thing is he runs away. In the air, he gets waft, and then he has bike as well to, like, get out disadvantage and run away more. He's heavyweight, so he's hard to kill. And, like, yeah, he has weaknesses. He's not broken. But, like, fighting against a character like that, who gets rewarded so heavily, not just for the spacing of it, but just straight up mechanically for not fighting. Just like Joker. I don't like dealing with that. And I think with Wario in particular, it's really hard to balance the type of character. Because he's either really good or really bad. And I think especially when you have Yoshi, like, you don't need Wario, because Yoshi does something similar, right? He, very air mobility heavy character, not much range, but hits very hard, lives very long. But to compensate for it, poor range on attacks, not the best ground game, linear approaches, both have aerial command grabs though to beat shields. And I think Yoshi is just a much better designed version of Wario nowadays. So bring back Yoshi for sure. Screw Wario, we don't need him. Weef is one of the most forgettable characters in Smash. I don't want her back. Nope, she can go. I feel like if she was ever good, she would just be camping for heals with down B and neutral B. And I'm like, oh, that's not fun. Or like camping until she gets deep breathing and killing you. Right, so she's either really good because she does that stuff, or she kind of sucks because she doesn't do that stuff. So, nah, she can just go. Alright. Wolf's like weird. I don't have any issues with his design. I think on like a balanced design level, he's done very well. I just think he's kind of boring. Because I think he's like so reliant on just like shooting laser and jumping around people. But I'm like, okay, you can bring it back. He's whatever. Alright, Zelda. I'm tired of them not knowing what to do with Zelda. Like, they keep trying to make her in the game and she's not good. And like, yeah. Like, you could revamp her. You could definitely make her so she has one lightning kick sweet spot. Give her a normal ass forward air or back air. Right? You could give her some better normals in general and make Knight not as good as it is. Because Knight is such a broken move. It's just attached to a character with awful stats and moves otherwise. But then I feel like it'd be hard to make Zelda still the way she is without making her like really obnoxious if she's good and really shit if she's bad. And like I'd like to see if they just revamp her as more of like a generalist mage. Like maybe make Psybeam or just saying make Nutra B have a bit more utility. Maybe replace Downbeat with something else completely that's still like a minion summon based thing. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna mix. I'm not sure if I want to put her as like just don't bring her back, or I don't really want her back, but I have like if she came back, I like to see a big revamp on her. But I think I put her here to be honest. And then Zero. I love how Zero Suit plays. I love it. The only issue I have with Zero Suit is down B has consistently been a stupid option. Like, oh, I'm in a bad spot, I'm gonna down B out of there. And it's consistently been overtuned. But I think it's just consistently overtuned. I think it always consistently has too many iframes, always goes a little bit too far. Because I think having this like bursty air option as mostly an escape tool or a combo extender to finish people off, I think it's fine. Because she doesn't have any like mechanics that particularly reward her for running away. And it's balanced out by like, you know, being this more of a spacing heavy like hit and run character with the Zares. Like not particularly hard hitting. Like she has some combos, but like the combos you can kind of play around if you know what you're doing versus her. Her neutral is not that great. Like her advantage state is kind of like she's precise. So it's like her ability to play around, like get out disadvantage, is balanced out by other factors. And otherwise, she's just cool. She's fun to watch because she's super fast and flashy. I think she's an interesting little puzzle to fight against. I think playing as her is pretty interesting as well because it's like, how do I find my openings versus these characters who are just significantly better in neutral generally? And yeah, so I like her as a character in Smash. And yeah, this is my list. So I had to cut the Smash roster in half. This is about half, right? You know, you take one of each of these characters, you take these, and just the rest of these, oh, keep off, of course, and the rest is just gone. And there you go, about 40-ish characters from the 80. And this is what I think would make a fun to watch, fun to play Smash game for the next installment. So guys, let me know what you think, and catch you later.